Hello everyone, welcome back to the Benchwarmers Podcast. As usual, I'm joined with my co-host Josh Sykes.
It's good to be back, Gab. It's been a while. Well, since I was on anyway.
Yes, it hasn't been on our Christmas special. So like you said, we'd do a New Year's Eve special, and then fast forward to the 12th of January, we're still to do our New Year's Eve special. And along with that, we are also like to be joined by two guests. First of all, we've got cameraman Jack. Jack, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you very much.
Good. Guest Matthew Butterworth. Matthew, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You look all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Okay, I don't know why I said Matthew rather than Matty, but I think before we should get into this podcast, we're going to be basically launching a potential new podcast coming soon. Going to call it Tour de Murfield with Sykes as the main host. Sykes, you looking forward to this?
Just no.
You went cycling before we started the podcast.
I went for bike ride, some exercise. What's fun about that?
All right, Bradley Wiggins, calm down.
Hello, Bradley Wiggins.
Look, when you lock down stream, you can have sideburns coming pretty soon. But anyway, we're getting straight into this. I'm going to be starting off today talking about a topic it's been kind of coming up quite a lot recently in terms of Manchester United. Obviously, they've had a really good season so far. I think at the start they were getting a bit of hate because not many people like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's pulled it around, if fair play to him. They've had a bit of a revelation with Man United. Don't know where they're setting the table now. I think is it third, is it?
Joint top.
Oh, is it joint top? Oh, even better then.
With a game in hand.
Yeah, but we've seen a bit of an uprising from Man United recently, which is good to see for a Man United fan, I guess. It's good to see that they're finally maybe having a chance at a title shot since Alex Ferguson left all those years ago. But, yeah, we're going to be discussing how their basic revelations come about in their revival. And one signing, we've all got one signing each. We haven't told anyone who it is, other than I kind of guessed Sykes is one before we start recording. But we're going to be talking about who we think could come into that team and maybe just give them that extra charge for the title. But,
Yeah, I mean, obviously with Man U, they started off losing to Crystal Palace at the start of the season and then went on to lose 6-1 to Tottenham. But obviously since the start of the season, when they had that kind of like sporadic, shaky start, they've had quite a few league wins, a really, really good away form. And currently they've got the joint most wins in the league. They sit joint top with Liverpool, but can go 3 points ahead if they win their game in hand against Burnley tonight.
Well, this episode's going out on Wednesday, so Burnley will have already happened. Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully by the time this comes out, they will still be joint top and will have lost to Burnley. Well, I don't like Man U. Why would I want them to win?
Yeah, no Man United, that'll happen as well.
What?
No Man United, that'll happen as well.
Yeah, probably they'll bottle it, but then again, it is Burnley we're talking about here, so why would Burnley win? So, do you want to start off with yourself, Gab? Who have you gone for?
Well, originally, the player that came to mind for me was, I know he's been getting a lot of recognition recently, and even though he plays for Brighton, Yves Bissouma, is that you pronounce it? Yves Bissouma? Being linked to N'Golo Kante at Chelsea, saying he's a player very much like him, then I had a bit of discussion before the podcast started about Man United not really needing midfielders, especially with Donny van de Beek looking for his way out of the club. I think we've all sort of gone for defenders in that relation, I'd imagine. But I had three defenders sort of in mind. The first of which is my ideal player that Man United should go for, is Pau Torres of Villarreal.
I said Pau Torres.
Yeah, he's had a really good season so far. He's had 18 games. He scored 2 goals from centre, which is decent, and only got 1 yellow card. So you know that his descent is quite good. To say he's young, to be fair to him, he's 23 years old, so he's starting to get close to his prime. Was linked to Manchester City at the start of the season, but that deal fell through because I think they went for Nathan Ake instead. But I think Pau Torres, partnered alongside Harry Maguire or Lindelof, whoever is in that defensive position, could be really good for them, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. Jack, have you gone for him as well?
Yeah, I said Pau Torres as well. With him joining Villarreal as a child and making 54 appearances for his club that he's been there for, God knows how long, it'd probably work out for him. I reckon.
Yeah. Been there since 2002.
Go on.
What, Gal?
He's been there since 2002. Was that Pau Torres?
Yeah.
So how old was he when he joined?
I have no idea. He was
Come on,
born
Mr. Fluke Maths.
He was born in 1997. So, God, he must be like 5 or 6.
5.
God, he was had to play at 5 years old.
Yeah, but loads of people have been at clubs since they were 5. It's just like their youth academy.
Yeah, my little brother were at Man U for a couple of years.
When he was 5?
No, well, a bit older, But
McTominay has been at Man U since he was 5, captain them for the first time the other day.
Yeah, he had a good game against Leeds as well. So he scored 2
yeah, he
goals.
did 2 in 3 minutes.
I know what a game that was. I was quite happy about that one.
Oh, of course you were.
Why not?
I was destroyed.
But
Go on.
I was just going to say, Matty, who have you gone for in terms of your signing?
They need a defender because Maguire's clearly a waste of 80 million. So I would like maybe potentially someone like Ben White because he's young, he's good, and he's got a lot of potential in terms of how good he can get to be.
Yeah, obviously played for Leeds in their Championship promotion season, currently at his parent club Brighton. He had a good start to the season. I've not really heard his name much in recent weeks. What were the people's thoughts on Ben White?
I think he's been on the bench quite a bit, but I think he can also play in midfield, I believe. I'm not too sure about that, but I know coming from Matty's perspective as a Leeds fan, I'm sure Matty will be a bit more biased towards Ben White and seeing him play an actual big club like Man United.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Ben White could be a real good addition. Obviously, he's English, so immediately that'll get fans on board because you know what English fans are like with English players. I think he deserves a chance. I feel like at Brighton he's maybe been shied away a bit compared to the form he showed even when he was at Newport County a few years ago. And at Leeds, he was brilliant, helped get them promoted. At Brighton hasn't really been as much in the news, like Sykes just said, but I think if he was maybe given more game time, gained a bit of confidence, he could definitely fit into a Man United side, especially playing alongside an England international in Harry Maguire. I mean, you can still let Harry Maguire all you want, but he's actually quite a decent player at the end of the day.
Yeah, the thing with English players is they're always overpriced. So, like Harry Maguire, yes, he's not as bad as what everyone made him out to be, but he's still not worth 80 million. And I think Brighton want 40 for Ben White, but he's worth no more than 15, 20 million.
No, yeah.
Because English players are just generally overhyped. So it just depends whether Man U would want to go out and spend 40 million on a player who's bang average, really. You want to be signing world-class players. It's Man U. Yes, he's young. Yes, they can bring him on. But he's only going to sort of the type of manager that can bring a player like Ben White on.
I think Maguire's performance in World Cup boosted his value though.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I've gone for 2 signings. So, one that they can get on a pre-contract, and I believe would be a good signing, is Sergio Ramos.
Yeah.
In the past couple of days, Man U have been rumoured in signing him. It's not only them that want him, it's also PSG and Manchester City. However, currently Man U are the front runners as they have the funds to pay his weekly wage of around £200,000 a week. And plus Man City don't really need another centre-back, let's be honest. Their current partnership of Ruben Diaz and John Stones is arguably the best in the league.
Is Laporte not playing for them?
No, he's not been playing. He got injured, I think, and then kind of John Stones came back to form, and now he's undroppable along with Ruben Diaz. Like, you can't drop them. They're both playing amazing at the minute. But, Sergio Ramos would be a good player for him to get a pre-contract to arrive in the summer. Obviously, his contract expires this summer for Real Madrid, and they wouldn't have to pay a transfer fee. So that would be good for the future, just to get some experience in that back line. More a natural leader than what Harry Maguire is. But one I think they should go for in January, which I know, Gab, you said at the start that he's come out and said that he's not going to leave.
Yeah.
But he's Dayot Upamecano from RB Leipzig. He'd likely cost in excess of £60 million, but he's had another solid season so far. He's conceded 12 goals, kept 6 clean sheets from defence, and they're currently second in the Bundesliga after 15 games, 3 points behind Bayern Munich. So I think he scored 30 goals as well. So he's good in the air. He's a good defender, naturally gifted. He's very good on the ball, which is what Man U need because Maguire and Lindelof aren't that good technically with their footwork. So he's the kind of player that they could have just to drive balls out from the back and get it into your midfield. Bruno Fernandes and up out to the wings. So for me, I think they should try and go for him. If not in January, definitely in the summer because he'd be a brilliant acquisition. I think he's only 21. So he's one for the future, and it's not like someone like Ben White who they'd have to work with and develop. He already plays a good team, Champions League football. So for me, he'd probably be my number one choice if I'm Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Ed Woodward.
Yeah, I think with Upamecano as well, he he reminds me of a lot of, this is obviously completely got nothing to do with it, but Huddersfield Town's centre-back, Naby Sarr, like a big, tall, muscular player. You'll see him break up the play. You'll see him putting that hard tackle when he needs to. He might pick up a red card every now and then, like, well, Naby Sarr hasn't. I think Upamecano has picked up quite a few as well in his career. He reminds me a lot of Naby Sarr in that sense. Obviously, just a much better version of him playing in the Champions League. But another sort of player who I think possibly maybe going there is an actual teammate of Upamecano playing at RB Leipzig, and that's Ibrahima Konate. I've not really heard much about him, but he's sort of come to light recently. He's not played that many games in the Bundesliga. He's only played 6 so far. But he's 21 years old. He's showing lots of potential, lots of promise. Again, it might be similar to Ben White. Does Solskjaer want a player you can maybe work with and improve and maybe turn into a world-class player one day, get a bit more profit on a player compared to someone like Harry Maguire, who they'll never sell for 80 million? Or is maybe want to go for like an actual proven centre-back already, like an Upamecano or like a Sergio Ramos, that can come straight to that team, be a leader? Or maybe he want to build one himself, maybe build a Manchester United legend. It depends, because I don't know how long Solskjaer's been there for now. Is it 4 years, 3 years?
No, I think it's verging on. I think it's 2 or 3 years. I think it's more 2 or 3 years he's been there now.
Yeah, well, other than Alex Ferguson, the Manchester United board have been a bit hasty in the way they've been sacking managers, such as David Moyes, Van Gaal. Managers who probably haven't done very well, but haven't really been given too much time. So is Solskjaer, if he's going to bring a player like Konate, he's going to be wanting to have a lot of time at the club to build him into a brilliant player. Are the Man United board going to give him that time? That's another case. But if he can go to the title, then I'm sure he'll be a United legend for other reasons and as a player, if he can get this club back on the feet.
I don't really see the reason in sacking him, but then they're the joint top of the league. And it's like, I was talking to someone about it a couple of weeks ago, in that, yes, they didn't start off well, and yes, Solskjaer, he's not exactly the best manager in the world. But when a manager signs a contract, they set out their plan. So for all we know, he could have just said this season they'll get top 4 and they'll try and challenge for a cup like an FA Cup or a Community Shield, which obviously they're now, not the Community Shield, sorry, the Carabao Cup, which obviously they're now out of. But for all we know, that's what he could have said, and now they're challenging for the title. So he's gone above and beyond. He's exceeded what his original plan was. So therefore, that's proven he's better than what he is. And they should back him. They should give him the money to help him through, give him the players that he needs to build a squad for the next 4 or 5 years. Bringing the likes of your Upamecano, your Sergio Ramos, to give the likes of Upamecano, Harry Maguire that experience they need. You've got Wan-Bissaka, you've got Alex Telles, you've got Dean Henderson that are ready to be the number 1 in 1-2 years' time. You've got your Bruno Fernandes, your Marcus Rashford, your Mason Greenwoods. All you need then is a like of a Jadon Sancho, another young central midfielder to obviously replace Paul Pogba, who will definitely be leaving in the next year or two, and a centre forward. That's all you need. And if he can get the funds for that, then they're going to be where Man City were 3 years ago, unstoppable.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think potentially they maybe even be able to utilise that Paul Pogba deal, because obviously he's been linked with move to likes of Juventus or Real Madrid. Man United should, instead of trying to get loads of money for him, which would be understandable, maybe look at a potential swap deal for one of their centre-backs or a player which can actually improve the squad. Perhaps looking at maybe even probably not Sergio Ramos, because he wouldn't exactly show profit with his age and things like that. Maybe like a Rafael Varane. Could maybe do a swap deal with Pogba plus money for Varane. I think that would be a quality deal for them. And world-class centre-back, he's young. I think he's 25 years old, 24 years old. Straight into that squad.
Yeah.
Potentially, but with Juventus, weren't they on about maybe throwing in Dybala as well?
I think we Juventus, they're on about throwing either Paulo Dybala or even Ronaldo.
Jesus.
I think Ronaldo's a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ronaldo's getting on now, and he's 36 years old.
36, but he's still one of the best players in the world. But I wouldn't go for him. That's not who I'd go for, and I don't think he would be what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's looking for. I think he'd be good for a season or two, but in terms of a long-term plan, he's not really what they'd be after. But if they were going to offer Paul Pogba, if I was Solskjaer and I was being offered, you give us Paul Pogba and we'll give you Ronaldo, I'd bite the hand off. I wouldn't say no. That'd be the instant yes.
I mean, I think with Dybala too, even he's not actually. You'll see, like, we know from FIFA how good a player he is from FIFA. But if you actually look at his stats in real life, he had 17 goal contributions in 33 games. This season, he's had 4 goal contributions in 11 games. That's just 2 goals in 11 games and 2 assists in 11 games. That's not actually.
He had one world-class season.
Yeah. It were
And-
27/18.
Yeah, and his height went through the roof.
Mm.
And now I think he's, 27 now, I think. And he's just not at the point where he should be. He's not.
Yeah.
He
He should be in his prime.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a set position. They play him out on the wing in central attacking midfield as a centre forward, as a striker. You need a set position. In that season, I think he played as a number 10. And now he's just being deployed everywhere along the front line, and you can't have that.
Yeah, in the 2017-18 season, he got 22 goals in 33 games. And then 1 year later, he got 5 goals in 30 games. So he probably dropped off, and he hasn't really recovered since then. Even this season, he's not looking like anything. I'm not going to say special because it's Dybala, but he's not looking like anything that's counts as world class other than the fact of his name and his club, really.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so let us know in the comments below who you think Man U should sign in the summer. Have we got it wrong? Have we got it right? Probably the first one. But let us know.
Definitely the first one.
Moving on then, this past week there has been FA Cup action. There's been several results. I'm not going to read through them all because that'll take us about 5 minutes in itself. But we have now got the 4th and 5th round drawn by Peter Crouch, I believe it was. We've got a lot of brilliant games coming up and a lot of absolutely very clearly staged games coming up. But nevertheless, we're going to have a quick discussion through them to say who we think is going to win the round game. The fixtures, and let us know what you lot think about our predictions and who you think will obviously win the games. I say this, but I bet no one's even watched this far into the episode, or no one will even comment anything. Moving on to the first game, which I think will be an absolute massive upset: Cheltenham Town versus Manchester City.
Upset.
Yeah, Man City winning.
That's not an
Cheltenham,
upset.
Cheltenham are a massive club, mate. Don't disrespect Cheltenham.
No, they're not.
Johnny Rock Stadium.
He
No
gets
offense.
it, Johnny Rock Stadium.
No offense to Cheltenham, but no.
Cheltenham were able to edge out a victory against Mansfield Town after extra time in the last game, which finished 2-1, whereas Man City did beat Birmingham City 3-0.
They didn't just beat them, they annihilated them.
Yeah, it was a very one-sided game, whereas Cheltenham were actually losing to Mansfield. So Cheltenham have the fighting spirit, which I think could come in handy against a poor Man City side.
Man City have a back line worth 500 million and a weekly wage bill, which is probably 100 times more than Cheltenham's yearly
I
wage
think
bill.
everything, including Cheltenham, including every asset, every player, every player's family, all the stadium, I don't think that's worth a mil.
But Cheltenham have Ben Tozer in defensive midfield, all right? Do not respect Ben Tozer.
Got John T. Smith, what a player.
And
Exactly.
Man City have £60 million Rodri.
Yeah, Rodri, Ben Tozer.
Is it? It's not John T. Smith. That's what I'm talking
Yeah, who would you rather have?
John T. Smith.
Rodri.
No, I'd rather have John T. Smith.
In fact, no, I'd rather have Jonathan Hogg, but
He's irrelevant.
Oh, so I'd rather have Phillips personally, but
No.
Overrated.
Have either of you two got through to the 4th round?
right.
Have you?
No, but we lost to one.
Not top by us.
I'm not gonna talk about that. Matty, what's your opinion on the Cheltenham vs Man City game?
I mean, if City don't win that, they should just give up.
I mean, they will have given up because we are.
Oh yeah, and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Matty. Comfortable Man City win. Cheltenham don't really have a chance.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of agree with that, but I'm gonna back the Cheltenham boys and go for a victory for Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Just because League Two kind of got to pull through.
Stick with it.
Anyway, the next fixture is Bournemouth against Crawley. Crawley obviously beat Leeds.
Yeah.
Right.
And they wanted a big club in the next round, and they got not a big club. They've got to go to Bournemouth.
You mean Bournemouth who beat Town 5-0? You mean that's not a big club?
Bournemouth aren't a big club. Town are a bigger club than Bournemouth.
Sorry, can I just say, if Oldham had actually beaten Bournemouth and then Leeds had actually beaten Crawley, it would have been Oldham versus Leeds.
Yes, well done. You can correctly work out who will play who.
I know, that would be the Richard Derby.
Been brilliant.
And if Huddersfield had beaten Plymouth, it'd be a Yorkshire derby against Sheffield United, but we didn't. But anyway, for me personally, I don't like Bournemouth, so Crawley all the way.
She do the
I
beat
reckon
you
Crawley
5-0.
can pull through, If they were them beating Leeds, obviously Leeds didn't put out a good team. you know, up to
Well,
standard.
you're saying that,
put
but
out
we
a
put out
decent team.
quite
Yeah,
a
it was
decent
team,
team.
but it
To be
wasn't up
fair.
to standard. And they didn't have Melia in net, and they had Casilla and everything, which probably messed them over in general.
Yeah, but Casilla ordinarily is a better keeper than Melia is. Just he hasn't played in a while.
But he's not.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't.
He's a Champions League winner. Just didn't play. Sat on the bench.
He's racist, though.
it could have potentially stopped all 3 goals.
There's no potentially about it. Jack would have stopped all 3 goals.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's not get ahead of
He
that.
would have done, to be fair.
But yeah, I'm going with a Crawley win.
I'm gonna say Crawley as well, to be honest.
I'm going to disagree. Bournemouth are in really good form. They beat Town 5-0, beat Wickham, they drew with Luton, lost to
Can
Brentford.
you stop saying the beat us 5-0?
They beat Oldham. Yeah, they beat Oldham. They beat 5-0.
Yeah, but we scored.
Yeah,
we
but Oldham scored.
It was a penalty.
Okay,
Still scored.
Okay. It was Bambuller as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If you want, man. I'm going to go with a victory for Bournemouth just because, it's Crawley Town. I mean, Bradford have got them at weekend, so we'll decide off that.
You're gonna lose.
Go from there. Yeah, I know, that's not the point. Matty, what's your thoughts on it? Who you think's
I
going to win?
mean, with Bournemouth's recent form, I think it has to be them. I know Crawley have just beaten Leeds 3-0, but still.
Yeah, but Leeds are a Tin Pot club, so.
Yeah.
All right, Leeds are also a Premier League club. You're barely even in league anymore.
Up the league too.
Right. Next up then is Swansea City versus Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest previously beat Cardiff City 1-0, so they've already beaten one Welsh side in the previous round, whereas Swansea beat Stevenage 2-0. And I actually watched that game, and Stevenage, to be fair to them, actually put a really good performance in. Swansea didn't look at the races, to be honest. I have to admit, I respect Swansea because they've got an attacking midfielder, Yanda Handa. I think he's the highest ranking Muslim footballer or something like that in England. I think there's one more at Premier League level. I can't remember what it is there. But nevertheless, they've got Yanda Handa in Canada, who had a really great game, to be fair to him. He's quick on the ball, he's got nice feet. I've loved having him at Birmingham FC. Nevertheless, Stevenage weren't too bad, and for that, I believe Nottingham Forest are going to get the victory. Swansea put out quite a strong side against the League Two side, who were actually just outside the relegation zone on goal difference in League Two, and barely edged a win. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a victory of Nottingham Forest. Anyone else want to throw anything in there?
I mean, earlier on in the season, so I'll start to get a result up. Earlier on in the season, Swansea did beat Notts Forest 1-0. That was at the end of November. So I think for me personally, I actually quite like Notts Forest. I like some of their players that they've got. I like
Joe
Lolly, Grab, and things like that. I like. Obviously, like the fact that they brought on Matty Cash, which obviously then went on to Villa. But I'm going to go for a Notts Forest win. I don't think Swansea, I don't like them. So I'm just going to go with Notts Forest all the way, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah. Please don't all speak at once. What's happening?
I reckon
Moving on
Notts
to the
Forest will win
biggest-
as well.
Yeah, I reckon Notts Forest will win as well.
Okay.
Cheers, man.
Moving on to the biggest tie of the fourth round. It is a northeast derby. No, it's not. It's a northwest derby. Is it?
I don't know.
Northwest. And it is Man U against Liverpool. So they obviously play this weekend anyway in the league. So that should decide who's going to win. But who's going to win in the FA Cup? They're both going to put out a strong team because they'll both want the cup.
Yeah.
Obviously, Liverpool convincingly beat Aston Villa's under-8 side the other day. So that's a good result for them. Man U beat, I don't know who did Man U.
Watford. 1-0.
Watford. So I think Man U are going to win. Yeah, I think Man U are going to win. I think Liverpool will beat them in the league. But I reckon in the FA Cup, Man U will win. So I'm going with the Man United win.
Yeah, I'm going to actually agree with that. I see Man United as a bit of, not really a dark horse for this competition, but like someone who maybe, if you look at like the top sort of 6 teams, you don't really think, Man United are going to win the FA Cup this year. I can see them honestly going all the way and winning the FA Cups. I think they'll also beat Liverpool. I agree with what Sykes says as well about Liverpool beating them in the league action.
Yeah.
I think Man United will pull through, especially if they can get one of the signings that we've mentioned before in for that time. Probably not knowing our look. But yeah, Liverpool, they're a lot weaker this season. I got Van Dijk after his injury against Everton, which is the most dragged out debate in the entire history of football. Literally, I got a notification up yesterday about how the referee admitted it should have been a red card for Pickford, literally yesterday, when it happened, God knows how long ago. Liverpool are considerably weaker, I believe, this season, hence why title race is a bit closer, you got to say. So for that, I think Man United are going to come out with a victory.
Yeah, I can get behind that, to be honest.
I think I'd have to agree, but it depends on what teams they put out, because they might both be focusing on different things.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next game then, it is a undecided one. When is Arsenal versus Shrewsbury?
No idea. I'm looking now because I didn't realise that existed.
No, I didn't. I have no idea when they played. It says that. All right. Well, it's apparently Southampton or Shrewsbury who are playing Arsenal. Don't know when Southampton and Shrewsbury are playing. I imagine they're playing tonight.
It was meant to be on Saturday, but it was postponed.
It'll probably be soon. I don't know. First of all, who do you think's going to win between Southampton and Shrewsbury Town?
You will talk. I'm trying to work out when it's going to be played.
I think it probably has to be Southampton, really.
Do you know what? Southampton, they've got a good, obviously good team with Danny Ings up front, but Shrewsbury are in really good form. They're in the other relegation zone. They got, I think it's Steve Cotterill as a new manager, previously won promotion with Bristol City. He was Birmingham manager for a bit. He's brought in a number of signings from Bournemouth. Charlie Daniels has come in. Mark Pugh's come in. They've got a really good side on them, to be fair to them. I think, honestly, they've got a championship worthy side. And with a manager like Cotterill, maybe not this season because they started off so badly and were in the relegation zone. I think they were bottom of the league. I think Shrewsbury could have maybe a promotion push next season if they can keep the players going, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm going for an upset here. I think Shrewsbury are going to win.
I can get behind that, to be honest.
But then I think Arsenal will beat Shrewsbury because...
Oh, yeah.
Arsenal, Shrewsbury.
For me personally, Southampton are going to batter Shrewsbury.
Batter? Jesus.
Southampton are far too good at the minute. They're up there challenging for Europe. They're unbelievable at the minute.
And Shrewsbury challenging for League One mid-table.
I don't care. Ralph Hasenhüttl has transformed Southampton from them losing 9-1, 9-0 against Leicester last season. And they're a proper European contender, so Shrewsbury don't stand a chance. And then, obviously, the decision on that game is meant to be decided early this week anyway, as to when it's going to be next played. But if it can't be played, then Shrewsbury will automatically get a bye because it's Southampton that have the cases, not Shrewsbury. But
coronavirus, is that what they've got?
Yeah. Because Leeds' game against Southampton is in doubt at the minute anyway for this weekend. But, so if they can play it, Southampton will win. And if they can't play it, Arsenal will beat Shrewsbury. But if they can, then Southampton will beat Shrewsbury and Southampton will beat Arsenal.
You see, the way I see it, I think the game should already be given to Shrewsbury because you look at Leyton Orient had to give up their tie against Tottenham.
No, the only reason they had to give that up is because it couldn't be played at a later date. So what they're doing, if the game can be rearranged for a later date and not interfere with the cup or the league, it will be played. If it can't, then the team that doesn't have the cases gets the bye because it's not their fault. So in this case, it'd be Shrewsbury that gets the bye into the next round, and Southampton will be eliminated.
Yeah. Okay. I think Shrewsbury. Moving on to the next game, then it is Barnsley versus Norwich City. Barnsley came out victorious against Tranmere Rovers on Sunday. I think it was a 2-0 win. Yeah, it was. Whereas Norwich played Coventry City and came out comfortable 2-0 victors. Norwich have got a really good side in the right out. I think depends if Emi Buendia, we had a brief discussion about before, if he can stay at Norwich, because obviously he's got a lot of interest coming from Arsenal. I think it's Leicester as well at the moment, with him heavily linked, especially to the Gunners. They've got like Timu Pukki still on that team, Todd Cantwell, Jamal Lewis, I believe, still played. No, did he? No, he went to Newcastle, didn't he? Something like that. Max Irons, they've got a really good side, Norwich, hence why they're top of the Championship. And I think coming up against Barnsley, who are just sitting outside the playoffs mid-table, I think Norwich are going to come out of this one easy winners. Honestly, I'd say.
I agree. Norwich are winning this one easily.
I don't know, because when Barnsley really play like how they can, like last season they played really well against Leeds in Championship, and they were potential, like they should have been higher up than they ended up finishing. Yeah. I think so. I'll go Barnsley.
Oh, bit of an upset there. Next up then is Chorley versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. A bit of a big game with Chorley playing in National League North. Wolves obviously a big Premier League giant. Chorley beat Derby County's practical youth team. I think it was 2-0, I believe.
Probably.
2-0 against Wolves, who previously played. I can't find where Wolves played. Did Wolves play? Oh, they beat Crystal Palace. I'm going to go for a 3-0 Wolves. It's just going to be,
I'm saying Wolves are winning it.
Yeah.
Comfortably. They're too good.
Got to be.
Yeah, I think Charlie's run's going to come to an end, unfortunately. Moving on quickly then. Millwall versus Bristol City, a bit of a boring tie, just two championship sides coming up against each other. Millwall bet Boreham Wood 2-0, whereas Bristol City ended up beating Portsmouth 2-1. I'm going to go for a Bristol City. I think Millwall are a bit of one of those teams who they'll win a game and they'll lose a game.
Yeah.
You're your side.
Yeah.
Bristol City have got some really good players. Them like Famara Jeju up top's really good. Callum Patterson, if he's back from his injury, is a quality player in that attacking midfield role. I'm going to go for a victory to Bristol City.
Yeah, Bristol, they're having a better league season as well. They're 10th compared to Millwall 17th. So, me, Bristol City, I wouldn't say it's going to be comfortable, but they're going to win.
Next up then, Brighton and Hove Albion versus Blackpool. Brighton only just beat Newport County on penalties, so that's a bit of a could have been an upset there against Blackpool, who currently beat. Should be more prepared. I can't find Blackpool anywhere. Did Blackpool play?
Everybody played.
All right, they bet West Brom on penalties, which is obviously a bit of a shock there as well. But yeah, I think Blackpool could play out the bag again. Brighton only just beat Newport County, who are a league below Blackpool, and now top of League 2 or second in League 2 or something like that. Whereas Brighton not really pull up any strings this season, and Blackpool, they beat West Brom. They can beat Brighton, in my opinion.
Yeah, Brighton should win it comfortably. There's nothing saying he shouldn't. Yes, obviously they struggled against Newport, but as we saw when Bradford played Newport are a decent side, or is that just because Bradford are rubbish? I can never tell. But yeah, I think Brighton are going to be quite comfortable and win.
Where did that come from?
We did win against Newport, to be fair. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's Oldham, who are worse than Bradford, let's be honest. So.
We came from 2-1 down and won 4-2.
It's the Bahambula effect.
Just Bradford are just bad.
There's no need to blow that. You can't actually score goals, Jack.
Well, at least Bournemouth.
We'll get to a bit of a speed run here because I swear it's been 15 minutes and we've got about 15 ties left. Wickham versus Tottenham.
Tottenham, comfortable, batter them.
Wickham. Fulham versus Burnley.
Fulham
on penalties. No, Burnley on penalties.
You know what, I'm going to go for Burnley on penalties too because Fulham are absolutely dreadful at penalties. We've seen them miss 4 this season, 3 this season already.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a boring game.
Another game which I think will be an upset. Sheffield United versus Plymouth.
Plymouth. Beat Town.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that, do we? Plymouth, Sheffield United are garbage at the minute.
Sheffield United only just beat Bristol Rovers as well in the previous round, so they got away with that one really.
That was their first win of the season.
Was it?
Yeah, they haven't won in the Premier League.
Chris Wilder's 100th win as manager, and they put it in the tweet, and everyone you've had this one in your drafts for 5 months, haven't you, lads? And sorry, 120 when it came out. However, Plymouth will be a lot weaker since they've just sold the best centre back Niall Canavan to Bradford today.
Oh, is that what it came?
Yeah, thank you very much, Jack. Chelsea versus Luton Town. What an absolute quality away day for Luton if they could go.
London derby. Chelsea.
Luton's in London.
It's just on the outskirts, yeah.
Oh,
London.
Still London.
Yeah, you got Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Luton won't be able to replicate what Bradford did all those years ago. West Ham versus Doncaster Rovers.
West Ham. Doncaster, they're not a good side. West Ham, they're all right, but they're not amazing. But I do think West Ham will beat Doncaster.
Do you know what? I'm going to disagree because Doncaster, obviously going off past results, Doncaster managed to beat Blackburn Rovers, who currently have the Championship second top scorer in their team, and are up there, I think, for the playoffs. Doncaster managed to beat them at Blackburn, whereas West Ham only just edged out against Stockport County in the National League, literally scoring in the 83rd minute to make it 1-0 and win that game, with a full-strength West Ham side out as well. So, for that, I'm just going to go for a victory for Doncaster Rovers. West Ham didn't look impressive at all, and David Moyes is a good manager. Brentford versus Leicester.
It's going to be an interesting one, but I've got to go for Leicester. At the end of the day, they're again up there with European contention, a slim title challenge, but yeah, it's going to be Leicester.
I think it has to be Leicester, but it wouldn't be that surprising if Brentford did manage it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brentford could cause an upset quite easily, but it's going to be Leicester.
So I mentioned this last season, Sykes, but Brentford have always got one of the best attacks in the entire Championship, with Mbeumo, Ivan Toney in there now, and they've got a new guy. I don't know his name, but they've got a new guy in there, a winger who's apparently doing really well. Yeah, for me, Brentford should be playing in the Premier League instead of Fulham. Obviously, lost in playoff final to Fulham, but I think Brentford would be much more suited to it. To be honest, I think they do a lot better as well. But yeah, I'm going to go Leicester. Everton versus Sheffield Wednesday. I'm going to have to go for Everton.
Everton.
Yeah, so I think Sheffield Wednesday are second from bottom, something like that.
Yeah, they are, I think.
Yeah, they're not having a very good season, but at the end of the day, no, they're 21st.
21st.
But yeah, they're 21st, but Rotherham have 3 games in hand on them. Derby have 1 game in hand on them. So if all goes well, they will be second bottom.
Nevertheless, then, are we going to do the 5th round draw? Because can anyone remember who they've guessed for the 4th round draw?
No.
Ish.
I don't know then. Did you just not do that one?
I say we try. So, Fulham Burnley against Bournemouth Crawley.
I think I said Burnley to win on penalties, and I said Bournemouth to beat Crawley. So
Yeah, I think I went for that.
Bournemouth and Fulham.
Well, Burnley and Bournemouth.
Yeah, in which case I think Bournemouth are going to win that one.
yeah, I think Bournemouth win that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Man U or Liverpool against West Ham or Doncaster. So I think Man U are going to beat West Ham.
Yeah, I went for Doncaster over West Ham, but I say Man United are going to beat Doncaster. I think out of those 4 teams there, Man United, Liverpool, West Ham, Doncaster, Man United will
I
probably
think
come
I'd
out
have to agree.
Yeah. Next one is Sheffield United or Plymouth against Millwall or Bristol. So I said Plymouth against Bristol, and I think Bristol will beat Plymouth.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I think
Bristol will
can...
beat Plymouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one is Chorley or Wolves against Southampton, Shrewsbury or Arsenal. God, that's a long one. So I think it's going to be Wolves against Southampton, and Southampton are going to beat Wolves.
I think it'll be Wolves versus Arsenal. I think Arsenal will beat Wolves. I could fancy Arsenal. Obviously,
didn't you say Shrewsbury beat Arsenal?
No, Shrewsbury beat Southampton, and then Shrewsbury would lose to Arsenal. It's all very complicated.
Right, okay.
I think Arsenal's going to come out on top, basically.
Right, so I think Southampton are going to come out on top. You think Arsenal, Jack?
I'd say Southampton.
Southampton. Matty.
I think I'd give it. Is it Wolves?
Interesting outsider. Okay. So the next one is Barnsley or Norwich against Chelsea or Luton. So for me, this is going to be Norwich against Chelsea, and Chelsea will win.
Yeah, I agree with that. Same.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Then we have Everton or Sheff Wednesday against Wickham or Tottenham. So for me, this is Everton against Tottenham, and Tottenham will beat Everton.
Yep.
It's not going to be an easy game, but I do think Tottenham will win.
Yeah, same.
Because I think this is a competition that Tottenham really have to go for, along with the Europa League.
Yeah, especially with Mourinho as manager wanting trophies.
Yeah, I reckon, to be fair, they'll beat Man City in the Carabao Cup final. And I reckon they could also put up a good FA Cup fight and then also get to the semi-final or final of the Europa League. So realistically, they could win all the cups this year if they play their cards right.
To be fair, that's true. Obviously, Tottenham fans will look at Premier League wanting to finish up with Arsenal, wanting to get Champions League football pushing towards title. But to be fair, winning the League Cup, Europa League, and FA Cup, I'd rather have that than get Champions League in Premier League.
Yeah, that's why you're in League Two.
Fine, Gab, I'm the same, mate. Don't worry.
Thank you, mate.
I'd rather win the Premier League. It's the ultimate. Obviously, if they were in the Champions League, then maybe that, but they're not, so who really cares?
You don't get
Then we have... What, Jack?
You don't get the action as you do in League Two.
Yeah, you don't see the massive tackle
You
from
don't see 50-year-old centre-backs hoofing it up from the back.
George Elakobe smashing someone from out of nowhere.
Kevin Ellison.
No, you see Harry Kane, one of the best strikers on the planet.
But Kevin Ellison, the
Still
40-year-old.
underrated, though. Have you ever seen Danny Rowe front in Premier League? No, but you should do, because he'd smash it.
There we go.
No, he wouldn't. Poor Rob Holding would smash him, and Rob Holding's way too standard. Then we have Swansea or Notts Forest against Cheltenham or Man City. So for me, this is Forest against Man City, and Man City will win.
I think this is Forest versus Cheltenham for me, and I'm going to go for a Cheltenham win, because Cheltenham are going to go all the way.
Swansea versus...
Delusional.
You got to back the League Two, boys. That's all you got to do.
Up the League Two.
Okay.
Seems realistic.
The final fifth round fixture is Brentford or Leicester against Brighton or Blackpool. For me, this is Leicester against Brighton, and Leicester will win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Leicester are top in out of those.
Yeah. So in the sixth round draw, there should be...
Wait, what?
I'm just trying to work this out. There should be Bournemouth, Man U, Bristol, Southampton for me, Arsenal for Gab, Southampton for Jack, and Wolves for Matty.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Tottenham, Man City for the sane people, and Cheltenham for the delusional ones, and then Leicester. That should be the sixth round ties.
I should be, but it won't, because it'll be Cheltenham to the finals. Yeah. Matty, do you want to intro it?
No.
Jack, do you want to intro it?
No.
Sykes, do you want to intro it?
Okay.
Yeah, see, this is what we need in podcast.
It's only because I actually have the notes.
Podcast friends.
Yes, podcast friends indeed. So, Mesut Ozil's been in the news in the last day, really. He did a Q&A, and a fan asked him, would you rather retire or go to Tottenham? He said retire. Showing his loyalty somewhat. To which Mourinho then said today in his press conference, a reporter asked him, and he turned around and went, who told Ozil we were interested in him? But, yeah, classic Mourinho.
Would Ozil even get in that team?
No.
Yeah.
But, no, he wouldn't.
It's
Anyway,
like me saying I wouldn't play for Leeds. Like, nobody cares, because...
You got dropped.
There's no need for that.
Anyway, so obviously Mesut Ozil was not included in Arsenal's Premier League squad for the first half of the season, but at the end of January they get to submit a new squad, and he could be included in that if he doesn't leave. Personally, I don't think he will be, but I think he should be included in it. However, he has been quoted also in that Q&A yesterday saying he supported Fenerbahce as a child and would love to go back there. Well, not go back there, but go there.
He's German, yeah. So why does he support a Turkish club?
Because he's German-Turkish, so all German-Turkish children apparently support Fenerbahce.
After by law.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think he will go. Maybe not in January, but definitely in the summer. Yeah. But I don't think Arteta will include him in their second half of the season squad, but I do think he should. They need that creative spark, which they haven't had. It's why they've been doing so poorly. But in recent games, they have come into it because the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe playing in that number 10 position where he played so well for Huddersfield. Apparently, that was all down to Arteta. He made Danny Carley play him in the number 10 role. He said, you cannot play him anywhere else. And we've proved why. Not only did he play well at Huddersfield, but he's also replaced Ozil almost instantly and has been playing really, really well for Arsenal. He's that creative spark they've needed, which has allowed the likes of Lacazette to start scoring.
He should have been sent off, in my opinion, on when did they play? They played someone and he went on to score the winner. But I think he should have got sent off for that challenge because that was 2 foot. He's literally off the floor.
Yeah, I haven't seen the challenge. I keep meaning to watch it. I haven't seen it.
It's a red card in my opinion because it's no intention for the ball. He's so late on him. He's off the ground. He's got 2 feet in the floor. It don't make sense to me. But I love that he went and scored afterwards. That's great behaviour from Smith-Rowe. But yeah, with Ozil, I think the situation is his wages are just crazy right now. So the kind of clubs that are going to come in for him, they're going to have to be like rich clubs. You're not going to see like maybe a smaller Premier League side who needs a creative playmaker like Ozil coming there. But if you look at some of his stats over the past seasons, yes, he's very much declined. I mean, he got 3 goal contributions in 18 games last year. If you go back to like 2015/16 season, even though it was bloody like 6 years ago, Sykes never saw that haircut right there. But he got 19 assists and 6 goals in 35 games, which is absolutely incredible stats. Sykes, all right, please stop doing the hair flip. It's so off-putting. You know when the actual video comes out, they can only see me, so because it's whoever speaks, it can see. But if you're looking at Sykes right now, it looks like, oh, all right, let's go pretend it never happened. Yeah, you got Ozil to play with that many qualities, rotting away in your reserves, not even playing for your first team. You've got to be looking at getting him out because you might be able to get a good fee. I don't know when his contract ends. I imagine it's end of season, or is it?
I don't know. Is it end of this season or next? I think it could be end of this season, if I'm honest.
I'll quickly check that. But I think you've got to cash in on him.
Ignore the talk. But yeah, you do have to maybe not cash in on him because obviously that depends when his contract runs out.
Yeah.
But they do have to get rid because at the end of the day, he's on 300k a week or thereabouts. That is far too much for him to be sat at home, not even on the bench, just sat at home. All he's doing is training. So they have to get rid of him. But if you were to go to like a Fenerbahce, not only would he have to reduce his wage a little bit, he'd have to reduce it significantly. Like he'd be on about 100k at most. So he's knocking off 200k. Not like 200k matters to someone like him, but it's a lot of money to have knocked off. And would he rather just stay at Arsenal until the end of this season or whenever his contract expires and pick up that 300k for doing nothing?
Sorry, go on.
I said I would.
Ozil right now gets £18.2 million a year, according to 2020, which is mental to sit around and do nothing all day. To say that right now I work at a pizza shop, Sykes rides a bike around and tries to be Bradley Wiggins. I don't know.
£50k a week.
Work at a bakery thing, it's like a BTEC Greg's.
Yeah, my wife said BTEC Greg's and Jack's not legally allowed to work. So, saying he gets 18.2 million a year is absolutely crazy. I know that I'd love
150k a week.
Exactly, but yeah, his contract runs out at the end of this current season. So in 2021 in the summer, he'll become a free agent by then. So I think for that, obviously, it's not us. So if they have Arteta still at helm, he's not going to get his contract renewed whatsoever if he's not really involved in the squad and has such a substantial wage. I think other clubs will come sniffing at the end of the season for that, but I think Arsenal should maybe offer him out to clubs, maybe for like a reduced price right now, just to see if they can maybe get any interest and then try boost it up a little bit as you do on Football Manager, which I know none of these lot care about. But yeah, honestly, I think any fee right now for Ozil is a victory, to be honest.
Personally, if I'm Arsenal, I'm getting rid this month. But then again, they can't even get rid of him for a price now because he can just go sign a pre-contract for the summer. Yeah. He's got less than 6 months left, so why would a club pay money when they guaranteed him in the summer when they get him on a pre-contract?
Yeah, they won't pay a big fee either if they're going to do that. Depends if they want him now or if they want him at the end of the season as well, really.
But if they wanted him now, then if I'm Arsenal, I'm just saying give me 5 million and he's yours. And any little helps, as Tesco say. Or is it every little helps? Every little helps, as Tesco say.
Yeah, I mean, he's 32 years old now. He's getting on. Although the Fenerbahce manager apparently came out 3 minutes ago and said his move to Fenerbahce is closer than ever before. So hopefully Arsenal fans are receiving some good news pretty soon. Jack, Matty, you got anything to add on that?
No, I don't.
No, you can just probably get a much better player for the wages he's demanding. So if you're Arsenal, you're getting rid of him and getting a cheaper player to play.
Give it Buendia, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Get him in the Arsenal team. He'll be flourishing. Nevertheless, that's going to bring an end to this week's episode of the Benchwarmers Podcast. As usual, I'd like to thank my co-host, Josh Sykes.
It's been good to be back. It's been a while and it's nice to get back doing it.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have some more regular videos coming out now. We took a little bit of a break over the Christmas period and New Year's period and the November period and the most of January period. But we are back, and I'd also like to thank our guests today. So starting off with Jack Neely, you can check out his Rob Alden signed a new contract with Arsenal. Anyway, you can check out his new album, Apollo, which came out on New Year's Day.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you very much. Gab.
It's all right. And also thanks to our other guest, Matty Butterworth. You can check out his bakery shop.
Coupons in Dewsbury, mate.
You'll get knowing the amount of views we got on this, you probably won't get anyone from us. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next week.